to other duties as assigned. We continue to get together every couple weeks to share some ways that you can thrive as an administrator or just a school leader in your building and share my experiences. Today, though, I have a special guest. She's the inspiration for why I decided to start the podcast, and so I figured she was the perfect first guest. This is my wife, Karisa Schwanekamp. Karisa has been an educator for 20 plus years. Has worked as a special education teacher and a fourth grade teacher in our district, but now serves as our technology integration specialist, and is impacting students in our corporation pre-K through 12 now, and having a huge impact, and does so much with technology. And I think one of the greatest parts about what Karisa has done in the classroom is she was already a phenomenal teacher years ago when we met. But then the pandemic happened, and for most people it was a big, everybody was just trying to survive. Well, Karisa really thrived during the pandemic and really embraced technology and so many different things, and really grew out of that crazy experience that we all survived through. But she came out the other side and was a top 10 teacher of the year for the state of Indiana. And just is a phenomenal educator and really cares about kids. And we're going to talk today a little about AI. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. What a nice introduction.
Well, you're a wonderful teacher, and one of the things I wanted to talk with first is talk about AI. And how have you're in classrooms across the district with the little folks all the way through high school kids. How do you already see AI creeping into the classroom?
What I love most is that we are at a really special time in education where we can be on the forefront of helping students understand how to use it efficiently and ethically and effectively, just the same way we're trying to use it in our lives as educators and professionals and adults. And so, I've been in first grade classrooms where they're using the research assistant in Magic School AI, working on a project that was already in the curriculum to research animals, but now they have this additional tool. And so I'm seeing those same first graders, instead of going back to Google things, they're going in and now they just see this as another tool. They're asking the research assistant, tell me how large a lion can get. And that's amazing that these students, just like all students, they adapt. They learn the technology even faster than we do. All the way at the high school level, students are making learning relevant, especially in Magic School AI. There's a generator called Make It Relevant. And I met with a group of 11th grade girls, and they were talking about trigonometry and how they just didn't understand how it applied in real life. And I'm asking them, have you thought about talking to your teacher about this, or real life examples? And I said, what if you get on the generator, see what the generator in Magic School AI says? And the generator gave them so many examples of trigonometry being used in the real world. And I think that's what this is all about, being able to use these tools as this collaborator, right? Because as a teacher, we try to get everywhere, we try to talk to all students, but it's just not possible to have those, minutes of conversations with everyone. But if we can teach students how to use this as a tool to improve their learning, I think it's a total win. That's great. And I know that we've talked about some of the teachers here at the high school who have learned that AI can provide feedback to kids really quickly, and maybe some of the positive feedback that kids aren't used to getting, because when we are correcting papers, we're always looking for what's wrong and not for what's right. And I can think of an English teacher who shared how great it was that the feedback they got was really positive too, beyond just giving them ways to improve their writing. And I thought that was a really great thing that we're already seeing. AI is artificial intelligence, and so I used AI I use ChatGPT, which is one of the AI tools that's out there. Google has one called Gemini. There's also the Magic School AI that you referenced previously that utilizes ChatGPT, but it's a computer doing some of that processing and thinking and combining of information. It's not thinking. It's not it's not the Terminator out to get us. But it's taking and using a large language model. It's using all the resources that are out there, and they're combining them to answer questions and interact. And I know that as I continue to use it, I get better at using it and asking it questions, and it's really already having an impact for us. How do you see AI evolving, and how do you see it continuing to grow and really benefit kids and teachers? here's an important conversation that I've had with teachers already. We think we need to rethink assessment and rethink how we're grading kids and what we're expecting the final outcome to be, because we want to prepare these kids for the real world. And so we need to design curriculum and design assessment that prepares them for that. So one conversation with an English teacher really was, instead of grading the final product only, I want to grade the steps in the process. I want to see the feedback. So we'll use Magic School AI, for example. They were using that in class for feedback. And she said, now the final grade ends up being, show me where you took the feedback and made changes to your paper. Because let's face it, when we're grading papers, we spend all of that time giving feedback and trying to correct and, being positive where we can. And sometimes we turn it back into students and we still get the same type of writing every other time, and there's maybe very little tweaks or corrections made. But if part of the assessment was you have to prove how you're going in and using the feedback from Magic School AI or whatever AI source to improve your writing, I think that that's huge. I think that as adults and professionals, that's the way we're using it. You talked about getting better at prompting. Kids are going to get better at being able to take the feedback and apply it to their papers. So I see us rethinking where we are in education, what we're really looking for as an end product.
Well, one of the things that's important to me in this podcast is to share ways that this can help make administrators' lives easier and to start to not only teachers and students are harnessing it in the ways that I'm using it as an educator, as an administrator, definitely helping my writing. And a lot of times I can come up with a bulleted list or that I need to go out as an email or a parent message or a student message, and I will throw that into a ChatGPT or Gemini and get it kind of wordsmithed a little bit. But I've been doing a better job of following up and asking more questions and prompting it more and getting even more refined. Sometimes I'll write in paragraphs and I think to myself, this is a great paragraph, but I don't know if I'm going to get a sophomore to read that whole paragraph, and then I'll ask it to summarize it, or I'll ask it to turn it into bullet points, and man, it's so much faster. And it's something I could do, but kind of to use that tool, use the computer to help me. We've had conversations in our building already with teachers, kind of the 80-20 rule of using AI, of letting AI do 80% of the work and kind of do some of the heavy lifting. And then in order to make it mine, taking that 20% and really going in and adding it my voice, adding some of that into that. And I think that's kind of the way that I'm using it, whether it's letters of recommendation, like I mentioned with, communications with parents and students. I don't want to give up my secret, but we try, in a future episode, we're going to talk about sharing our story and how you use social media and other ways to tell all the good things that are going on in your school. I try to post to Instagram a lot from our school accounts, and a lot of times teachers will send me 5 words or 10 words that describe what they're doing. I'll throw that into one of the AI generators, and man, it just really picks it up a notch and really improves, adds some more figurative language, adds things that just make it a better post. I often have to tell it to remove the emojis and the hashtags because I'm not an emoji guy, but those are the ways, and I'm really looking forward to finding other ways to do it. I really pride myself on my use of spreadsheets, and just the other day, I had a function that I wanted to be able to do, or a query, and I didn't know the formula to use, and so I typed in kind of what I wanted to do, and boom, it popped out what the formula needed to be, and plugged that right into a Google Sheet and got what I wanted. So it was great, and I really am excited about how it's going to continue to grow.
I think that's awesome. I also think about using it in your personal life. So I'm going to give a plug to Microsoft Copilot, because I do think it's another great AI engine that's out there. You were looking for a biography or a professional bio to get things started with Keep Indiana Learning, and it was interesting just to plug it into AI and see what they pull up, and of course it used all of the sources and was able to put together a pretty good history of your career based on what's out there. I ran a marathon last year, and I typed in what would be a great marathon training plan. So plugging it into your professional life, but also finding ways to ease some of the heavy lifting in your personal life as well.
Karisa, if somebody's watching this podcast and they're like, barely have dipped their toes into AI. What are some of the resources? What are the things you think they should start to explore? What are the Google searches they need to do or listen about or read about to kind of grow? Do you have any good authors maybe they could reach out or they could read? Give us some resources maybe.
And Matt Miller, all of his things are really great. He is the Ditch That Textbook guy, but then so much more. He has a book about AI. Holly Clark is amazing. Her resources are really great, and they are educators. So they are living this life with us. Those are the top two off of my head that are putting really great things out there. There's a newsletter for Matt Miller where you can stay up on all the latest plus the happenings in AI. I highly recommend, sift through some of those things and just start small. That's really the biggest thing. Start small. It can be an overwhelming world of a ton of tools, so just start small.
Well, I appreciate you coming and joining me today and doing this on our lunch hour together during the summertime. No tie, you can tell the difference for me. But it's been nice to sit and talk and share what we're doing with AI. When we wrap this up, I'll probably use AI to generate the episode description for everybody. But thanks again, everybody, and we'll get back with you in a couple weeks with another episode. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.